Hello everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. You know, we have lived a lot, we've been through a lot and seen a lot of global shifts in our world. 60 and Me is all about helping us to achieve a journey that just appreciates those things and absorb them into our lives and to be growing all the time, learning all the time. So today I want to chat with you about the global shifts that have happened in our lifetime that have really made a difference, certainly in my life and perhaps in yours too. And it's not going to be the same for everyone. So I want to just highlight to say that some of these things are maybe ones you don't feel we needed or that are useful, and you'd rather stay back in a bit of nostalgia about the past. But I think these are things I'm excited about the future, and I hope that I can live long enough to see them go to the next step, because some of them are amazingly fascinating to me. And if you've got grandchildren and even your own children, you want them to have this world too, and understanding it is so important. So the first thing I think is the rise of digital technology and social media. We've talked about this before, but I think there's an angle here that is really important. Now, I'm on all channels. We have the website 60 and Me, we have a YouTube channel with almost 250,000 people now. It's amazing. We've got so many people joining us every day. And I think that's a sign that the social media platforms are bringing people to the places where there's like-minded, individuals. And so that's the first thing. But, we learn now how to communicate more effectively. We can share more of our knowledge and our skills and understanding. Yes, it's not the same that when we did everything in person. And I know there's a very strong argument going around amongst younger people, and sometimes that, it was the good old days back in the 90s or the 80s when, we got together with our friends, we rode bikes together, we hung out in the mall or went to movies, and there were all these things that we did as a group, like with people. But then there's also, now the reality that we can reach thousands, millions of people and have a much wider social network. And for me, for example, I have met some of my older friends, the people that I didn't have any connection with through social media. I never would have found Mary. Mary was one of my very, very good friends when I was 15, when I lived in Windsor, Ontario, and she and I were just the best buddies ever. I love her to bits. And we lost each other for 30 years. And then I found her on Facebook, and we met in Las Vegas, and I've got goosebumps even thinking about it, because it was so, so beautiful. And now we're online. And Mary, I know you must sometimes watch, so I love you, darling, and I'm so glad that we reconnected. But that's just one example. There's so many more that I can point to where I've been drawn into conversations with people through social media. Yes, I didn't see them, I didn't touch them, but I knew what they were doing, going through, and that's kind of how 60 and Me is so powerful, in my opinion. But we are able to access information. I mean, literally, anytime my grandkids say something to me, like they ask me a question I don't know, I always, say, let's ask, ChatGPT or someone, and you get the answer immediately. It's just so, so compelling and so fun. But, it's not for everybody, but it's definitely reshaped social dynamics and how we get information. I remember I worked at Microsoft, don't forget, for 20 years almost. And, Bill Gates's thing was, information at your fingertips. And that is really what it is. Like, you can be knowledgeable now about anything. Now, admittedly, there were those fun days too, skipping and riding and, playing with friends in real life. But I don't know. For me personally, I like this better. I like this a lot better. Okay, that's the second thing. I've got my notes here. Oh, telehealth. Yeah, the advancements in healthcare. That is definitely one that is, I think, benefiting us as older women. Look how old we are relatively. I mean, I'm 75. And some of you are in your 70s now, 80s. Most of our community is still in their 60s, 65 to 68. But if you've been with me since the beginning, you're in your sort of middle to late 60s. And you've seen the health benefits and appreciated them. That you can go to the hospital now and the doctor, well, you go to the doctor and they don't pull out this paper file and sort of look at your, all your records and sort of think, oh, yes, I remember back 5 years ago, they have no clue. But now you can get your records at your fingertips. Go to the dentist and they've got pictures, they've got your x-rays that they can just get more efficient and more specific about what your needs are. I think that's really, really cool. So the way that telehealth is evolving too. For example, I went in a few weeks ago to the doctor to make an appointment for my checkup, because I do checkups for my blood pressure every now and again. And they said, would you like to do it by phone this time? Okay. So the doctor's going to call me and we're going to have a conversation. She doesn't need to see me sitting there unless it's something that, you have to have the doctor check out, like physically. But if it's just a conversation, why not do it telehealth way? Rapid development of vaccines. Okay, I know there are some people that don't like the vaccines, and I get it. But, it has profoundly affected the lives of so many people in your own family and in your world, in your community. It's bigger now than individuals. And maybe that's why we don't focus so much on this in-person engagement. Like a lot of my friends, many of my friends, including all of you, are here online. I have my cup of tea. I'm going to have my little cup of tea here. Share a tea with you guys. We could have dinner together. We don't have to be there. They're sitting next to each other. It's okay. Next thing is climate change and environmental awareness. Now, there's no doubt that we're doing some things that are creating a little bit of havoc in the world. The science, technology is helping to get an understanding of that. There's no doubt that things are happening with weather, but who knows whether they would have happened anyway? Who knows? But this focus on environmental issues and on sustainability. I went yesterday to the recycling place in my little town, and there were, well, I don't know about thousands, but there were hundreds of people there, redistributing their plastics and their papers and their cardboard and their batteries and all these things that can be recycled and destroyed in a not healthy, but in a practically good way. And they were just there doing their bit. And this awareness of recycling, this awareness of sustainability, maybe the movement from fast fashion. Lots of changes in corporate practices are being driven by an awareness of people, who are speaking out. And I think that that shift in, for corporations rules and also in individual behaviors like the recycling and so on, and charity shops and thrift stores, buying secondhand clothes. It's all happening, and I think in a positive way. Another thing to mention, of course, is the global pandemics and health crises, how we dealt with those. Now, I don't want to get into any politics about this because I know there are lots of people that have theories about it and they didn't really want to do any vaccines and so on. But I think that what happened as a result of it is more interesting. Changing economies, the working from home, like telehealth I mentioned, it altered the whole way that we socialize and think about relationships with people. That's where all these, remember all the groups that were formed for doing exercises from your living room and going on virtual museum tours. I mean, all that was kind of born in that global pandemic period a few years ago. And I think that was really, really powerful and positive. Because now, I visit all the time different countries around the world, and I just virtually online. There's so much information. I think it's fun, personally. You may not agree, but I think it's just a fun life that we have to share. The other thing, of course, and this is maybe getting into the edge of what we talk about here, is that the shifts in political landscapes and polarization. And I've lived through many elections and sort of government shifts and changes, both in the UK and in Canada and in the States. And I've never seen it as so polarized as it is now, which is influencing policies and laws and also dialogue with people, just the way people talk about some of the things. It was bound to change. People had been doing some of these things that we don't agree with, that some people don't agree with for years, and they, they're now here. They're amongst us, and I think we have to accept and embrace them. I am openly accepting it personally, and I think that it's where we're going as a humanity. That we embrace it. But there's such a polarization between us and them. And we've talked a lot about this in terms of conversations and dialogue and how you can do it differently. And on a sort of like a connection to that are the social movements like the Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement. And those are all happening because people are paying attention now to the differences and to each other. And this justice for marginalized communities is, it sparked a conversation that, again, I said is polarized, but at least it's giving some open space for talking about these things. And I don't know, it may be influencing policies and for the better, for the good of people who just want to be themselves. They just want to be who they are. They don't want to hurt anybody. They don't want to influence anyone. There's that, there's categories in every single group of people. But I don't know, I just feel that we're going way too far in the polarization. But this whole lifestyle shift, economic changes that have happened, the financial situation where you've got an overabundance of wealth in a small group of people, and how that's affected financial security for people, employment styles and opportunities. The whole thing about family structure has changed too. And if you have any situation in your life with estrangement, which I know a lot of you do, I can't believe sometimes the comments and conversations that we get around this topic, then you'll see how the world has shifted in the way that family structure is evolving, attitudes to marriage, attitudes to sexuality. It's all shifting. So that's all the challenges. But I think for me, the beautiful thing is that we're connecting more with the world. We can travel around the world now. I mean, I speak English, so that's for me a language that is pretty common everywhere now. The world is more interconnected, and I love that. I truly love it. And this understanding of different cultural, different beliefs and different perspectives, for me, makes this world and this life really meaningful. Now, I know I've gone over on time here. This is a really important topic, but I think it's important. So if any of this has resonated with you, what do you think is, well, you personally, the most significant global shift that's affected you as an older woman? What would you say is the one that has affected you the most? Leave your comments below. Let's have a chat, and look forward to reading them and responding. Thank you again for being here. Love you all so much. Take good care of yourselves. Think of you. Put yourself first for a change, okay? And go out in the world and enjoy this beautiful place that we live on, this planet. Okay. Lots of love, everybody.